Hello, hello, and welcome to The Phenomenal Show. I am your host, Joshua Harrell, and I am so glad that you have joined me today. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about how to raise your expectations of yourself. Now, through the course of the show, we have been working on your winning mindset. You're ready for anything now. In the last episode, I asked you to do some homework. Did you do it? Did you investigate a famous or a successful person on YouTube to find videos on their success stories, their path to success, their philosophies, to see if you could find some similarities? If you haven't done it, please go back and do it, because it really is a very cool exercise to kind of open up your eyes and reinforce your ideas, and sometimes clarify things that you know deep down inside are a part of you and what you want in your life, but sometimes it just takes someone else articulating that. So if you haven't done it, make sure you go back and do it. But one of the most important aspects of success is having high expectations for yourself. The more you expect of yourself, the more you can accomplish. Raising your own personal expectations can enable you to accomplish more than you ever thought possible. The trick is to learn how to push yourself to greater heights without pushing yourself over the edge. And we have all been to that edge part, and it is not a great place to be. Now, why raise your expectations? If you're perfectly happy with your current situation in life, you might be wondering, why would you want to raise your expectations? Well, when you expect more, you'll drive yourself to achieve that much more. Think about a time when you've expected nothing out of a situation. Chances are you weren't unhappy with the results because you didn't really care. But at the same time, you probably weren't driven and fulfilled either. While having greater expectations opens you up and makes you more vulnerable to failure, there are also big rewards too. It's worth it in the end, because a negative experience is still an experience that you can learn from. A positive experience may provide you with one of those life-defining moments that make you happy to be alive. Now, here are some excellent ways to raise your expectations of yourself. Number one, do difficult things. Pushing your limits can only be achieved by doing difficult things. You might not find success right away, but when you do it, it can be the starting place for doing even bigger and better things in the future. Now, I had an opportunity when I was much younger to work on television and sell products on television, sell makeup on television. Now, that sounds pretty interesting, pretty cool. I was absolutely flipping terrified of doing it. But it was an opportunity, and it kind of fell in my lap. And I took that opportunity, and I know for a fact, even though I was minimally good at best, I know that opportunity to do something that was difficult really catapulted me on to bigger and better things. So do difficult things. Number two, expand your comfort zone. Staying comfortable is another way of continually playing it safe. When you expand your comfort zone, you open yourself up to new and exciting things. You'll then come to expect more from yourself just because you're comfortable with more. If I hadn't said yes to being on television back then, I would have just kept on doing exactly what I was doing. And it was fine. I mean, it was great. But that decision to say yes to the opportunity that was put in front of me, even though I was terrified, huge life experience. Number three, challenge yourself. Set yourself up with a specific challenge or make a dare with yourself. If you're dared to do something, you pretty much have to do it. Now, I love this story from absolutely fabulous from the creator of Absolutely Fabulous, Jennifer Saunders. She, if you're familiar with the show, it's been around since the 90s. It has had many different different seasons on television, but most recently it had a movie, and very, very cool that it had a movie. I was glad to have that happen. But later I watched interviews and I found out that Jennifer is a procrastinator, or she's known for that. And her partner in comedy and in business and in life for most things, Dawn French, who also very, very successful comedian and actress if you're not familiar with her. But she dared Jennifer £100,000 to write the script for Absolutely Fabulous. And guess what? She did. Now, I have heard that the script was written with a lot of just placeholders, but that dare got her to sit down, write it. It was a fantastic movie. As a fan, I felt rewarded. If you saw it, I'm sure you felt rewarded too. But it wouldn't have happened when it did without a dare. So when you dare yourself to do something, you pretty much have to do it. Now, number 4 is take a survival course. Taking a survival course can show you how to get back to the basics. These courses are not just about basic survival. They can also teach you about yourself. You can learn more about your abilities and strengths and then continue to challenge yourself in the future. Now, you might not want to dedicate the time to doing a survival course, but I'm going to say, maybe give it a go. It's a suggestion, right? But I will say that I had an experience when I was in Orlando with family, a lot of kids, and they wanted to do, it was a lot of adults too, like I need to back that up, but they wanted to do one of those tree line walks in Orlando. And I was with the group, so I'm going to do this, right? Well, I didn't realize that I was going to be the only adult that was doing this tree line walk. And that, when I realized that, I thought, I wonder why no one else is doing this lovely, leisurely tree line walk. And I found out because it was pretty difficult. And there were times when I really challenged myself way beyond what I thought I could do. And the only way I got through it was because these children were doing it, and I did not want to look like a complete jerk face. So I strapped it on and I did it. And at the end of that experience, I had to go rush to the airport because I was leaving the group. But on the plane ride home, I thought, that was pretty cool. I had no idea that I could do that. I like to exercise. I can be fit when I want to be fit, but that is not something I would have even thought about doing. And I feel stronger because I did it. It was something. It was an accomplishment that showed me that deep inside there is this strength, and I just needed to wake it up, challenge it, kind of like awakening that phenomenal force inside, right? Now, number 5, learn new things. Work on being a more open and adaptable person. When you do, you may find that new experiences and situations simply fall into your lap. It's an easy way of broadening your horizons, and with new knowledge and skills under your belt, you'll be able to raise the expectations of what you can do. And, it could be as simple as I took a jewelry class, and it was something I like jewelry, but, and it was a very minimal commitment. I think it was, 6 weeks, a Sunday evening. But it was so fascinating to me because I didn't know anything about how jewelry was made. And it was hard. I am not an arts and crafts person. When I make something, I get into that perfectionism mode. So it was very, very difficult for me to allow myself to make mistakes. But I have so much mad respect for jewelry designers now because I did that. And not everybody has done it. So there's a little bit of insider information that I'm carrying around in my head. So I definitely did broaden my horizons there. So it can be a jewelry class. It can be a writing class. It can be an art class. It can be, again, just saying yes to the opportunities that are presented to you. Now, higher expectations for yourself also raises your self-esteem. What you think you can achieve is very important because it decides what you will achieve. When you raise the bar, you enable yourself to do more and be more than before. Remember that your thoughts are very powerful. When you make the effort to raise your expectations, you're also strengthening your self-worth and abilities. You'll see yourself in a positive light and be better able to achieve your ultimate goals. Try these strategies that I've given you to help you raise your expectations of yourself and enjoy the pride and fulfillment that come with doing great things. Now, I got a little challenge for you. If you didn't do the homework from the last episode, you need to go back and do that one. I'm going to play teacher here. But in today's episode, the challenge is designed to stretch your comfort zone. So here's the challenge. Introduce yourself to a stranger while you're out in public. A stranger at work or a party doesn't count. Okay, that is far, far too easy. Choose a person at a store, bar, or out on the street. You can even choose a neighbor that you've never met. And just introduce yourself. This could potentially be a new friend. This could potentially be somebody that you learn their story, and you get to feel the impact of their story. It can be life altering, but it does take you really stepping out of your comfort zone and saying, "Oh, hi, I'm Joshua Harrell. I do this. What do you do?" And but really do it with genuine interest and just take a jump, just dive in and ride the wave, see where it takes you. Now, that is it for today's episode. And again, thank you so much for joining. If you love the podcast, then please subscribe. That's how you get notified when those new episodes drop. So definitely subscribe. Find me on social media at Joshua Harrell in most places, and definitely follow the show on Facebook. Just search for The Phenomenal Show and you will find it. I let you guys know when there are new episodes, but there's also going to be some cool stuff. And I've got a cool ebook that I'm going to drop after this episode, and you're only going to be able to get it there on Facebook. So please join us on Facebook, The Phenomenal Show. Very, very important. But what's most important is to never, ever forget that you are phenomenal. And thank you again for listening. I'm your host, Joshua Harrell. This was The Phenomenal Show, and I can't wait to see you next time. Take care.